Hello and welcome to Live Coding Afternoon Tea. My name is Travis Toulson. So, today we are wrapping up the current project that we've been working on, which of course is our AI agent for the C3 troubleshooting. We have done quite a bit of things with it so far. We've got it pulling our C3 profile. We've got it taking a couple of troubleshooting steps, and it's able to also remediate a couple of steps. But we've also had a lot of questions along the way that I didn't have answers to because this is the first AI agent I've ever built. So I went back behind the scenes and did a little bit of work and talked with one of our guys, Victor Chen, who has a lot of information out there. I'm going to share a little bit of it today. Basically, I have a lot more answers today than I have had through the rest of this. One of these days, I'm going to learn things up front and then do them, but not yet. So, two things that I want to do today. One, answer some of the questions that we've had crop up along the way. And two, I actually want to take the final steps to actually make the agent we have now fire on some kind of trigger. I want to try that part out. Now, this show is essentially my day job, if you will. So this is, when I'm building this is all practical stuff that building internal tools for our team and that sort of thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that priorities are shifting at the moment, and that's the reason I'm going to change the project around rather than actually finishing this particular troubleshooting tool up the way that I was hoping to. I've got a new priority on my plate that I'm going to be tackling, but more on that next time. For this time, let's dive into some of the questions that we have had come up. One of the big ones was, can we fire different... You know what? Hold on a second. Let's throw... Not that one. There we go. So one of the questions that we've had is, can we execute some of these steps in our prompt in parallel? Safe harbor, not yet. That may be coming. I can't comment too much on that at the moment, but that is something that may be in the works. However, as of right now, we do have the ability to execute certain things in parallel through the Now Assist skills kit. So if you create a Now Assist skill, then there are apparently some steps in there that you can do. You can fire off certain things in parallel. So basically, some of the recommendations that I got was that if something is meant to be deterministic, if you know that things can be executed in parallel, then run those things. Execute it that way deterministically. To that end, let's share this guy. So this is one of the resources that I was provided talking about when to use traditional generative and agentic workflows. So, this kind of leans into another one of the questions that I had, which was when do I use each of these? I can create entire flows that are deterministic, but when would I want to do that versus implement it in an agentic, an AI agent or an agentic workflow? The answer is basically prefer the deterministic until you know that it's not. If you can't execute it deterministically, that's when you want to move into the AI agent and the agentic workflow. So if the task is predictive, if it has a clear path and the workflow follows a very clear set of steps no matter what, then you probably want to implement that as a flow or as a set of business rules as a deterministic process. Hey there, Jerry, how's it going? Right now, we're just answering some of the questions that I've had crop up along the way, and then we're going to actually get into a little bit more of the coding. Hey, Rempriya, how's it going? So, yeah, basically, if you know what the deterministic process is, build it as a flow, and then leverage those deterministic processes in your AI agents. So then that brings me to another one of the questions I had, which was, okay, well, when do I prefer an AI agent versus an agentic workflow? How do I make that decision? Let's see, I think there was another slide to that one. So no, I don't like this one. Not for this question, anyway. We're going to switch to a different document. Now, this document that I'm about to show, you can find in the ServiceNow community. Victor Chen has done a fantastic write-up, and I'm going to drop that in chat. And there we go. So this Now Assist AI Agents prompting guide is a very useful one that's got a lot of information and really provided a lot of the answers to questions that I had had. You could probably throw it into a generative AI and ask it questions if you need to. So within that document, there was page 9. Whether to build one large AI agent or several specific agents. So this one really addressed my question around when I should do an AI agent versus an agentic workflow. And the answer that I got out of this was basically, hey there, Jordan, how's it going? So, sorry, as I was saying, the answer that I got on whether you should prefer an AI agent or an agentic workflow was basically that AI agents, you should think of those as a member of your team, someone with a very specific skill set, someone with a very specific job. So for the AI agent, you want fewer tools, specific tasks that it's really good at. You want them to be experts at one thing. Then you want to orchestrate those AI agents with agentic workflows. So that's kind of how you build from your deterministic skills to AI agents to agentic workflows. That's kind of the boxing that you get. Now, if you've been watching all of my previous episodes, then you will know two things. One, that I almost always have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers mug. But they got decimated on Monday, so we're on the dark side today. And two is that I have not been obeying any of those recommendations about how to properly implement an AI agent or agentic workflow. I've been ramming everything into one single AI agent like a fool. This is what I get for not doing any training or reading any documentation before trying my first one. That said, we were still successful. However, what I've been told by some of our agentic AI team is that there may be more costs associated with that, with doing it the way that I've done it. It may cost more to do it that way because there are certain things that I could have implemented as deterministic workflows, which would not have an associated cost to them, that instead I'm letting the AI agent handle. That is going to, of course, cost it's going to count against your assists. So there's a lot of better ways that I could have gone about this particular tool. Now, that said, because I am shifting priorities, I'm not going to go back and fix this particular one. I'm going to try and finish it out and get things connected, wired up, and executing so we can kind of see this AI agent working end to end. Then we'll call it a day, and next time we'll move on to a new project. Let's see, I think I had one other resource that I wanted to share, which was this guy here. Another document by Victor Chen, which answers a bunch of AI agent questions. For instance, one of the most popular ones that I have heard is, what LLM does AI agents use? Now, previously, I thought we were just using our own internal crafted one. It is using OpenAI's GPT 4.1 by default for orchestration. And you can see the answer to that one here. And there's a lot of other great answers in this particular article. So both of those resources are really good. And before you start working on your first AI agent, I highly recommend that you check out some of these resources rather than doing things the hard way, which is what we're going to get back to doing. Me doing it the hard way. So, with that in mind, from last time, we have, and let me pull up Bob. Gotta have Bob's profile open. All right, there we go. So we've been troubleshooting Bob's profile, and he currently is in a broken state. And if I remember correctly, I believe okay, so yes. So if I run this, it should repair the roles and update the profile fields. That was where we left off last time, was that we actually had this workflow successfully troubleshooting the roles and the profile fields and updating those to the correct values depending on the state. This is one of those areas where a deterministic workflow likely would have been a better choice. So with that, kind of the last step in the AI agent process is either going to be to link it to an agentic workflow or to define a trigger. So I'm going to test out this define a trigger and see if we can't get this thing firing basically on a record create. Or sorry, let's go updated, because every time I would want to troubleshoot this, it would be when the profile record updates. So I think we're going to lean in that direction. And in case you're wondering, I'm drinking a Twinings English breakfast tea today, keeping it simple. Cathartic after a devastating loss on Monday. All right, so trigger. I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but I do want it to trigger on the profile table. All right. Let's see what options we've got here. All right, so let me check my... Okay, it will pop up. All right, so when the state is... Let's see. When it's new, It doesn't matter. I kind of hate that there's not a changes to. Actually, I don't think the trigger is going to work for this one now that I think about it. Or actually, yes, it will, because I think this will put it in the now assist panel. Let's try it. What do we have to lose? So we'll try to make this one appear when state is new. So the sys user that it's going to pull is the one on the profile. Channel. Okay, so we're specifying a channel. Okay, so I'm starting to understand this now. It looks like this trigger is basically going to allow this particular agent to be used from the now assist panel when we're on a particular record. Did I mention that I haven't really read the documentation on this stuff or taken any of the training? Don't tell my boss. Okay, so I'm going to show a notification. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to do, but we'll find out. Let's add that trigger. Or let's rename that. So my line of thinking here is that when the profile is in the new state, that is when we're most likely to encounter the issue of current event. Basically, if current event and the roles are wrong, it can't move forward. Like, it can't. It will not be able to move past the new state. So that is something that we would have to fix, and that is what this current AI agent can do. So we're going to save it. And let's go back to here. Let's do this. Let's open up. We're going to open Bob in the main one. I'm going to open Agent Studio in a separate one. So if I go to the profile, let's put him back in new. Let's see. My now assist panel is broken. Why is it broken? That's really weird. Nothing is showing in the now assist panel, and I don't know why. Honestly, a lot of things are kind of janky right now. Let's try reopening that one. I don't know what the issue is. Do I have any errors? I don't know. Let's see. Hmm. So this is really weird because when I'm clicking on the Now Assist, it's folding off, and I don't know why. Um, it is enabled. Um, hmm. Let's check some of the settings just to make sure. Now Assist Guardian. I don't see anything in there. Let's go back to our AI agent. Browser or system cache? Good call. Could never hurt to do a cache.do. Well, except in prod. Can hurt in prod sometimes. All right. Nope. Hmm. Let's see. Dev programmer sources dev. I'm going to clear my browser cache. Okay. I've cleared everything out. Earl is trolling me again. All right. Nope. All right. So that's out. That is lies, Jordan. That is lies. Why is my analysis panel not working? All right. Let's just make sure that my trigger did not for some reason cause this. Did you nano banana that, Earl? That Travis has brown eyes, so it definitely looks nano-bananaed. Let's go to the trigger. Let's remove that. We can recreate it again if we need to. Nope. Man. Now assist panel is misbehaving itself. Yeah, we can try the old turn it off, turn it back on again. Let's see. Nope. I am really confused right now. I have not seen this one before. Data sharing, privacy policies, data sharing. I wonder if we should turn this off and back on again. It didn't even turn off. Boy. This one's got me stumped. Now assist won't turn off and back on again. What on earth are you supposed to do when it won't turn off and back on again? That's the one thing that always works. Um, this is really confusing. Console says a lot of things, mostly pertaining to analytics. I don't know. Do you mean this button? Let's see. Unexpected token export. It is not just me. Do we have an issue in our instance? Spoke generator. Well, if we have an issue in the instance itself, I am not sure. Y'all, the Now Assist panel was the one thing that I had left to do before wrapping this up. We do have some updates on our plugins, so it might be related to that. Oops. Let's see. Is there something we can redirect towards? Is there anything else we can do with this aside from the Now Assist panel? Yeah, I agree. Just Z-boot it. It's kind of funny that all of the other episodes of this particular project have pretty much gone really, really well without many issues at all. Aside from like that first one kickoff of not remembering how to do the data bindings. But aside from that, everything's going really, really smoothly. Then we get to the last episode on this project and all falls apart. Let's see. That's sad. Guys, that was really the only thing I had left to do on this before wrapping it up was the Now Assist panel. And it is not behaving itself. What kind of stuff can agentic workflows do? Maybe if we can like pass something through an agentic workflow, maybe it has a way to get around it? Whew, AI agents are fighting me today. There we go. Let's take a look at one Christy did real quick, just to see if it has anything. It has triggers. Analysis panel. Yeah, I'm going to need Now Assist panel working to actually be able to execute any of this. I suppose we could try upgrading the plugins, but I don't... Let's see. Create an upgrade, release notes. Created a version which is compatible with. I think we are going to need this one. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, we updated this one to Zurich. So if I go back to that Now Assist plugin and read those release notes again. No, that says ZP2, and we're not on ZP2. What do you think, Earl? Do we update? See if it fixes it? Is there any other one it could have been? Now it says skill kit, admin console. Now assist context menu. No, I don't think that's it. Oof. Use prompt assistance in the prompt library to find prompt. We'll try it. The question is this going to be a long install or a short install? Because if it's a big one, ooh, that I like. I like a quick plugin update. See, this is one of those disadvantages of low prep time episodes, is that you come in and you don't know if things are going to work or not. I mean, it's very realistic. This is what we do day to day. These are the sorts of issues that we encounter when developing. It's just a little disappointing sometimes because you come in prepared to execute on something like Now Assist panel, but then you get in there and you realize that dev isn't working the way you were expecting it to. Though I will say, days where dev isn't working the way you expect it to are way better than the days where prod isn't working the way you expect it to. Much rather have this problem in dev. Ah, that dreaded last 1%. That last 1 percentage point gets to that 99%, and then you wait an hour. Checking the time, 12:43. We still got time if this closes out. I don't know if this will fix it, but I am hopeful. Okay, we got to reload. What do we got? Nope, still broken. Just to be sure. We'll do a cache.do. I'll do a clear the browser cache. Yeah, Philippe, that tends to be my method too. I have a tendency to dive in, try to figure things out on the fly, hope for the best. It definitely backfires from time to time, but I'm a fan of the process. Now Assist panel is still not working. Can we trick it into working? Nope. Like, am I missing a roll or something? I mean, I got the... Man, I am stumped. just on the off chance, let's do a log out, log back in. Hmm. Still a no-go. Dang, man. See, and this is tough because this is one of those issues where, like, it doesn't appear to be a code issue. Like, it doesn't appear to be something that I have written or done, but rather it seems to be either a role that's missing, a plugin that's missing, something in the system's configuration seems to be missing. And those types of issues are always harder to troubleshoot. I would much rather make a code change and have something break than just have something not work. Excessive node logs. Now assist for platform. Let's see. What is the now assist context menu? Because I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be related to that. What about the admin console? Is that just the admin console? I've only got a little bit of time left, guys. The clock is working against me. We're getting closer and closer to the first major defeat of live coding afternoon tea. My line of thinking at this point is that it has to be a plugin. I've got all the appropriate roles. Multiple users are having the issue. So it has to be something configuring, and the error that we're getting, the error that we're getting seems to indicate like a missing or a problem in a in like a component code, next experience framework type stuff. So I'm thinking that it's got to be some plugin that's out of date. We upgraded to Zurich, and with that, sometimes you get to keep plugins up to date. Sometimes you have to keep your other code up to date, and there can be incompatibilities. What I'm seeing in the error does not look like something that would be configuration based. Like, it doesn't look like something that would be like, turn a switch off and turn it back on again, and it would be resolved. Just as a quick reminder on what's happening when I, oops, Gotta wait for it to come back up now. So when I come in here, Now Assist pops up. I click on it and I get this uncaught syntax error, unexpected token export in this file. So you can see the tectonic. So this is a next experience component file. And based on that URL, UX asset externals autosides latest. Like, I don't think that's something that like we wrote or built. I think that's more platform side. Not 100% sure on that. All right, I'm going to update this one next. Man. But at least you get to see kind of some of my thought processes as I'm troubleshooting some of these things and what different things we're looking for, how to go about it, when to end the stream and go begging the internal product teams for information, submit a ticket on high. Hmm. Come on. Okay, successfully installed. All right. Cache.do. Still nothing. All right, let's try a log out, log back in. Still nothing. Ah. Voice input for Now Assist. Trying to think of what else it might be. Almost out of time. So the only reason that I could think that I would think that it's the voice input for Now Assist is because that component does actually appear in the Now Assist panel. So if that component is incompatible or broken, then maybe updating that plugin would work. If this doesn't work, maybe I can try to identify somehow in the gibberish that is that JavaScript file, maybe I can identify what the problem, what that file pertains to. Okay. Get the reload. No. What on earth does this thing affect? Uncaught promise, unexpected token in export. Reload. All right, so let's see. What's going on, Phil? We are getting our butts kicked over here. Jackamore auto size. Man. I am not sure. Possibly, Phil. Have you ever encountered an issue where when you click on the Now Assist panel, it doesn't open? Like there's nothing there. We've got the correct role. We've got Now Assist panel enabled, obviously. We got a bunch of other stuff there, but the error that we're getting is this unexpected token export. Basically, anytime I try to open the Now Assist panel, I get that unexpected token export, and it's in that JavaScript file we were just looking at. I was thinking that maybe if I updated the plugins, that might resolve it, but it doesn't seem to have helped. There we go. Unexpected token export and this guy right here. Auto size 4.4 or 4.0. Let's see. I actually don't think I have any other browsers installed on this one. Except Edge, but I mean, that's basically still just Chrome. So it is possible that something new changed. Let's see. So what I will say is that the Now Assist panel was working previously. So we had a working configuration. Gosh, what was the name of that table? Did I do that right? Sorry, I'm like struggling with this one a bit. Oh, maybe that one wasn't it. I'll have to give that one a shot. I'll have to download a different browser and test that out. Unfortunately, we are at time, so I am going to have to take the L today. Man, that sucks. I had one thing I wanted to do, and the Now Assist panel was broken. Man, that's disappointing. Well, unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. Not every time you sit down to do development does it work out. I'm going to continue to troubleshoot this one behind the scenes and try and figure out what's going on. And hopefully I'll be able to bring an answer back to you next time. So, sorry for an otherwise really depressing live stream, but I hope you enjoyed at least getting to watch me struggle troubleshooting. Hopefully we'll have a better outcome in the next episode, and hope to see you there. And thanks for joining. Have a good one, y'all.